Hello, everybody. My name is Kevin Hitt, and this is SBJ Spotlight, the esports edition. And today I have Tobias Sek, our resident business savant, letting us know everything about FaZe Clan and their SPAC. And now they are trading live on the NASDAQ. Tobias, how you doing today?
Doing very well. Thank you for having us.
Awesome. So look, we all know that FaZe Clan kind of struggled in the beginning trying to get this SPAC off the ground with B. Riley Principal, right? So tell us a little bit about how that even came to fruition, how they completed the SPAC, and then we'll go on from there.
Unfortunately, we definitely can't look behind the closed doors where all those deals were made, but there's a few aspects that we by now know of. There apparently were a couple of issues. First of all, with the valuation of the company, FaZe Clan was initially planning at going public at a valuation of $650 million pre-money valuation. However, that was all based on projected revenues for the next 2 years. And it became clear throughout that process that they won't be able to hit those numbers. So it's likely they had to renegotiate a little bit. But at the end of the day, they were able to convince the essential underwriters of that deal to run with that valuation. So FaZe Clan was in the end able to actually achieve a market capitalization of more than $1 billion, which is what they set out for in the very first place.
So one of the things I think you may have noticed, and you even gave me kind of the inside baseball on this, was that initially when the stock first came live, it dropped by 30%. And I remember hitting you up and you were like, no, Kevin, this is all normal stuff right here. Can you tell, but how many outlets were writing about FaZe falling on its face, losing 30% on the, initial day? Can you just walk us through that first day? And is losing 30% within the normal variation of going, public?
These days, 30% is definitely not an odd thing to see on the first day of trading. And the first day of trading sometimes comes with a lot of uncertainty, which was the case for FaZe, since a lot of the numbers that they were initially putting out there were kind of in doubt. Nobody really knew how much money was left in the trust account from the SPAC. Nobody knew how much money they were actually able to raise from additional investors in the process of going public. So it could have gone both directions, essentially. And it looked like the market was betting a little bit on it maybe going south, and FaZe Clan maybe not hitting that initial valuation they set out for. However, since they were able to go public at around about $750 million post-merger valuation and hitting that more than $1 billion market capitalization, the market very quickly turned back around on the valuation, and the stock price kind of recovered a little bit over the next couple of days.
Yeah, and speaking of that stock price, doing a lot of research and reading around, there seems to be kind of this overarching theme right now that a lot of people think that FaZe's stock is just prime for a short squeeze. It kind of went up by like 40% the other day, where it was trading at, I want to say, like $14, $15. But people are saying there might be a short squeeze coming on. Are you seeing that?
Short term, personally, I really don't see that happening, considering how the company is currently owned. We have to take into consideration that approximately 70% of the company is still owned by former FaZe Clan shareholders. And on top of that, there are a couple of big investors, including the sponsor of the SPAC, B. Riley Principal, who are still holding quite an essential interest in that company. And they also had to end up investing another $53.4 million into the going public process via a private investment in public equity deal, PIPE investment. So there are many interests that won't really let a short squeeze happen too quickly.
One of the things that we saw in the press release was that they were boasting about I want to say the 500 million fans that they can engage throughout the world. And that's legitimate. I've seen it. I've seen the numbers. Do you think that part of FaZe Clan's plan was that a lot of these just, hardcore or even casual FaZe fans we're just going to pick up a few stocks here and there, nickel and diming? Because when I look at the volume of trades, I'm literally looking at 50, 100, 1,000 at the most. Are you seeing the same thing?
Absolutely. I have the level 2 from NASDAQ running in parallel, and it's astounding how many trades of 1 or 2 stocks are happening over platforms like Robinhood, where the price making is a little clunky as well, which leads to weird jumps in prices caused by single stock buys or sales. But I don't think that's really what FaZe bet on, that their fans will invest too much, because it won't make too much of a difference, since the institutional investors are the majority shareholders in that company, and they're really the ones who will be able to support the company long term and keep their capital in that company.
Okay, so going forward, Tobias, what's the most important thing about FaZe going public, and what do you see going forward?
First of all, it's definitely a great sign specifically for the company that they were able to eventually make it happen, going public on the NASDAQ, becoming the first esports gaming lifestyle company to go public on such a big market. However, there's still a lot of uncertainty around that company, which can still make for tough times for the company when they start to announce by how much they're failing their revenue projections for the next 2 years, when people find out how little value there actually is in that company, because that 650 million is completely a made-up number on some future earnings, and that on a very high multiple of projected revenues as well.
All right. So for Tobias Sec, I'm Kevin Hitt, and this has been SBJ Spotlight Esports Edition. We'll see you next time.